I'm Chaim Factor.
My name is Yana Factor. I'm Chaim's daughter. We're fine woodworkers.
I just loved, I can't even begin to tell you how wonderful it was that Yana was interested to be in the workshop. And I still to this day, I remember the very first job that she did. I had been making some boxes. There was a little bit of work to do on the four corners of each of those, and I felt that Yana would be able to do that. And I had to build a little platform on the ground so that she could actually reach up to the bench. Do you remember that? No. And she stuck at it for hour after hour, and she went through the whole thing and completed the job. And as soon as she'd finished, she realized that it was time for her remuneration, and she was delighted with herself. And now this wasn't child labor, just so that you absolutely know that. This was just really charming. It was really nice, and it was great having her in the workshop.
So I spent a decade studying other areas of interest, which was anthropology, then followed by a master's in ethnobotany, which married my love for culture and nature. And I suppose in the last decade, then my own kind of style has emerged, more perhaps of a visual art type of style, less functional.
I think one of the interesting things about anthropology and ethnobotany is that, you know, craft plays a very large role in indigenous cultures, and you know, that gives inspiration to lots of artists. I think the most well-known piece that I've created would be the soft cheese knife. I probably spent more time designing that than the piece actually looks like. You know, it's a very simple piece of work. Well, I've always been very impressed by the design aptitude of the Inuit. They had, let's call it a harpoon. I'm not sure of the exact term, but it has a barb on the end of it. And I was kind of intrigued by that element. And I thought that shape, that barb shape, would appeal to other people. It was selected by MOMA, which is the Museum of Modern Art in New York.
It's very special when you see it go from raw lumber to a finished item that can be admired or used, and if cared for correctly, it can last many years. You get into a creative flow, and that comes from a place of stillness. It also, I feel, is feeding my soul, because this is me doing something that I love so much. So that's very good for your mental, emotional, spiritual well-being. We do bounce ideas off each other. We do bounce design ideas off each other. And we have this little running joke that sometimes one of us might get a little bit stuck on how to do something. And we'll ask the other, how can I do that, right? And the other one of us will like immediately give a solution that for whatever reason, you know, he didn't see or I didn't see, depending on who's asking. And we'll say to the other one, will I ever be as clever as you? And then one of us might have a little smart remark like, it's unlikely at this stage. Or problem solving is just, it's all about problem solving. You know, because you look at something, you're like, okay, I want to get to this point. How am I gonna do that? We would walk the woods regularly, and, you know, he taught me to listen to the trees grow. So he was nurturing this like connection with the landscape and the trees and the plants. As my love and appreciation for nature and my, I suppose, enjoyment that I would get in looking at nature really, really closely like the microstructure of the leaf or the timber, the end grain. So I'm looking at the fibers and the cells. I have very much tried to demonstrate this inherent beauty of nature to people that, you know, are maybe not going out and looking so closely at it, and incorporating that into my work.
Well, in the designs that I've been involved in the past, I've always been pretty determined to try and put my own stamp on it.
Chaim is a phenomenal designer. He's recognized as a master craftsman, and I'm very proud to be able to work in his workshop.
I never knew you felt like that. I think that Yana has talents that she hasn't even learned to recognize yet. And you can see in the quality of her work that, you know, she's capable of finer work than I am. And I mean that quite sincerely. You know, that's what comes of spending so much time in the workshop. It's all rubbed off. She's a chip off the old block.
I think in the future, I would like to teach woodwork as Chaim does.
Sharing skills is really important. It's really important for so many reasons. We need young people to come along and show an interest and to get involved. And if we don't cherish our crafting abilities, something more than the physical result will go from our communities. You know, children, you might say they really enjoy painting. They really enjoy making things. They really enjoy sticking things together. And there's that little child still exists within all of us.